can't.
Way, woman who be thinking we soft, we don't play. Hope you're ready for the next episode. Hold up. Hey, woman who be thinking we soft, we don't play. We gon' rock it till the wheels fall off.
Hi,
Marista.
welcome back to Lights Out, Let's Talk, where we are now on episode 19. Beth, you're not so proud I remembered the episode this week.
I was trying to think what driver there is, but I don't think there is one.
Yeah. Okay,
I mean,
we had a busy week this week. We had a sprint weekend, which honestly, I think is why I'm so sick right now. I actually think it's killed me off.
Honestly, probably.
This whole waking up at 3 a.m. malarkey, I'm over it.
can't wait to have a weekend off.
I know, literally find me Sunday like
Right. Tomorrow's my first actual sleep.
must be nice. I don't get natural sleep until Friday.
Friday.
Ooh, that's crazy.
Friday then. Oh my God, I didn't tell you. You know when I went to
What?
Alton Towers? That was I was singing all the songs on the rides.
If y'all would like to see Beth's experience at Alton Towers, head over to her TikTok,
Oh, it's class.
where she commentated her entire trip in Crofty's voice.
Yeah, the best part
it's
was
pretty
you
good.
could have filmed me singing Max Verstappen going up the lift hill on the Smiler. Going up and it's just do 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 do, and then we dropped as I was saying Max Verstappen, so we just went Max Verstappen. Incredible.
How everyone feels when they see him in their rear view.
I know that's because that woman amazed me. Still can't believe she said that to me. Okay. The woman who was, I told you.
Oh.
I didn't know if I told you, but I think I put it on Twitter.
Oh,
About the woman who on the Smiler, I had my Lando top on, right? And she pulled my harness down and went, "Disappointing qualifying for you this morning," and walked off. And I went, "I don't want to talk about it."
The way I would have fought that woman, that's so unnecessary.
No, she just strapped me into the ride. I couldn't do anything.
that's crazy.
Get me off! I don't want to do this.
That's why she said it. She said she knew that you couldn't get out. That's why she said it.
She's a Max Verstappen fan.
That's why I said, I bet she's the op.
She is. She is the
Oh
op.
yeah, absolutely. Maybe she's a Ferrari fan.
Okay. We're not
No.
mentioning Ferrari this week. Okay, so we started off the week with a nice little media day. You know, you're going in. I was ready for the Lando, are you prepared to be world driver champion questions? And he's just like, guys, it's been 1 week. Let's calm down. But no, everyone this week decided to wake up and choose violence with each other on media day. Jesus. We had I think my favorite one was Oscar talking about George.
Yeah.
So George was going on about how McLaren are going to win and they're going to get 1-2s every week and this, that, and the other. And the exact quote from Oscar Piastri is, if he wants to write off his season after the first week, I'll let him do that. And I was like, nice.
Love.
I believe there was also something to do with Lewis, but I can't remember. I can't lie. But there was something else. My whole Thursday night on TikTok was an interesting place. I was like, oh, okay. Everyone's against each other then, I guess. But here we are. They survived. Well, did they?
I like Lando's little sass in the press conference, and they asked about the rear wing rules, and he was like, "Wouldn't have affected us last week, doesn't affect us this week." After everyone online was like, "McLaren are cheaters, this is their fault, why are they doing this?" And then Lando was like, "It's not us." Like, oh,
Not us.
That's my diva.
And for those who still believe it's McLaren,
lol.
they disqualified.
Ooh, we'll get into that later.
No, they were not. Okay, so we kicked off the week with FP1, which honestly I was a bit nervous for because it was a newly surfaced track. So grip levels are low and tensions are high. But yeah, there really wasn't a lot for
No.
practice. So we had Alex and Liam versus the gravel, but you know what? It wouldn't be a race week if it wasn't a driver versus the gravel. Let's be real. We
Fact.
love
Yep.
the gravel. The gravel is a recurring guest on our podcast.
Absolutely.
Fact.
Charles also had a little spin. And then Jack Doon bringing out the red flags, but no, not because he was in a wall, simply because he lost power steering in his car. I'm sorry, I'm being beefy.
No, you had to.
I was being beefy with Jack. That was rude. Jack, I apologize. This is my apology.
Sorry, I feel
I'd
just
like to-
Oh,
the
yeah.
I'd like to apologize.
that was quite scary.
That was rude. Ow,
Not again.
I cut
Not
my
another
finger
one.
open, so that actually really hurt.
Another one.
Not another one.
And yeah, that was pretty much FP1, and then we were straight into sprint qualifying. Later that
I did
day,
not watch this.
like-
So for real.
I listened to it.
I was crawling my way to death. I was like trying to come downstairs. It was awful.
I don't want to talk about the sprint though. It didn't happen.
Well, it did, and we're going to talk about it.
It did happen. Unfortunately, yeah. It did happen.
Realistically, it was just everyone becoming victims of track limits. So we had Alex Albon and Bortoleto both had their lap times deleted twice. Stroll and Behrman were noted for impeding. I don't think anything ever came of that. Correct.
I feel like we would have heard something, yeah.
No.
I don't think so.
Hulkenberg also got his lap time deleted, and Russell and Yuki were also noted for impeding. And then I just have my note for SQ2 is just fell asleep. Nothing really happened.
Real.
And then I have legit just George struggling with grip and Bortoleto lap time deleted. Then I had a question mark on this one because I didn't fully understand it when it happened. But this came through the radios after SQ2, which is sprint qualifying too, by the way, where they asked Leclerc to swap cars with Lewis.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So
Like
this
physical cars or position?
I don't know. This came through on the radio during SQ2, at the end of SQ2, where they were like, we're going to be swapping the cars.
Wait. I think I remember this. I saw someone post about this.
In your haze of sleep.
Okay.
I think it was someone posted about how every week, like in the qualifyings, they have one car ahead to get like, so the other car gets like tow from the other car.
Yeah.
So I saw someone post about how they asked Charles to do that. So it might be.
Maybe that's what it was. I didn't understand it whenever the radio message came through. I think it was probably in a half dead, half groggy sleep state. I woke up like halfway through SQ2 and I was like, don't even remember falling asleep. And I just woke up to like Crofty's voice as if it was like God. I was like, but
I think that does make sense though, because I think a few teams do that.
Yeah,
so
I think it might be.
That makes sense.
Not physically get out the car.
Right, guys, let's go. Come on. Yeah, I had no idea what that meant because I was like, well, they can't call team orders in a qualifying. So I got really confused. But yeah, that was a radio message that came through. And then SQ3, we had Lando's lap time deleted, and that was literally all that happened. So with our positioning for the sprint, it was from 20th to 1st. Lawson, Hulkenberg, Ocon, Gasly, Doohan, Hadjar, Bortoleto, Sainz, Behrman, Alonso, Stroll, Albon, Yuki, Kimi, Norris, Russell, Leclerc, Piastri, Verstappen, Hamilton.
That's the only one I wanted to hear.
Yeah, I'll say Lando in 6th. Hurt. It hurt.
That was a jump scare when I woke up.
Yeah,
Day.
it hurt.
Ollie in 12th, but at what cost of Lando being in 6th?
But after the race, I can't see. I'm blind. So yes, then we kicked off the sprint on the Saturday. Once again, at ridiculous hours of the morning, 3 a.m. Immediately, right off the bat, Lando loses 2 places lap 1. He was pushed wide. There was nothing he could have done. It happened. but absolutely loved going on Twitter on Saturday morning with Turn 1 versus Lando Norris.
Yeah,
Oh
but then
my
he cooked.
gosh.
He cooked something.
But then he cooked.
He did.
We had Liam noted for causing a collision with Jack, but there was no further action. This is just a Beth note of just Lando not happy.
Oh, Will Joseph, when I catch you.
Oh, I think I know this one.
All weekend, there'll be a further round. No, because Lando was on the radio being like, guys, my tires, can I have some help? And Will was just like, what do you want us to do? And Lando's like, I want some help.
What do you mean? What do you want us to do?
Will was like, how do you want us to help? No, Will.
Oh, I did see, yeah.
Will, you should know. He was not happy. But then
was it Lando that described Australia as story time with Will? He was like, Will did not show in time.
I have seen that.
Yeah, story time with Will.
I'll carry my Will rant on later.
And then with the sprint, we had Lewis winning. But I would say arguably the biggest moment of the sprint race was Jack Doohan having contact with Gabriel Bortoleto, not only landing him a 10-second time penalty, but also earned him 2 penalty points on his license.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. Why did you miss that?
That was so funny. That accident at the end. Everyone crossed the line and then it just...
I saw edits of the Wicked poster where they've like rookies.
I have seen it. I didn't see the part where he got 2 penalty points from that.
Yes, he got a 10-second time penalty and 2 penalty points.
I think the highlight goes to Carlos just going around the outside of them. Because it's like a crash. And then it's just Carlos.
Well, because wasn't Jack... He was in the middle of both the Saubers, wasn't he, at one point during that, right?
Which left us with our top 8 point scorers for the sprint from 1st to 8th was Lewis, Oscar, Max, George, Charles, Yuki, Kimi, and Lando. I'm going to start throwing some more facts in our podcast. Fact. Because a lot of people confused. Because I did a little TikTok live stream the other night, and I was like, if you guys have any questions, like, we're not here to gatekeep this sport. Like, if you've got anything you want to ask or anything you want to know, go for it. And one of the questions that was repeatedly asked was, what was the purpose of a sprint? So
there isn't.
Not really. Sprints were brought in for like fan engagement and extra racing and extra entertainment and this, that, and the other. Most of the fans hate the sprints. Let's be real. It's a waste of time.
The drivers hate them too.
It's a waste of tires. It's a waste of energy for 19 whole laps of just
nothing.
You can't put a strategy on a sprint. It's literally just go. So yeah, but the purpose of it in terms of the championship is the top 8 score points. So first place scores 8 and 8th place. First place scores 8 and 8th place scores 1. It goes down the ladder. So unlike a race where first place scores 25 points, in a sprint they only score 8 points.
It did used to be half points, I think. It used to be like this. Used to be like half of the main points.
Yeah, it's not anymore now. It's just
so then they changed it.
So yes, that brings us to the end of our sprint, and then go to bed for 2 hours. Wake up again. It's quality time.
Clearly, I didn't wake up properly.
I just didn't go to bed.
No. Look at the nose.
That's so valid.
Clearly, I gave up.
Yeah. Anyway, so quali with Q1. We had Jack having a little spin. Lando lap time deleted. Liam noted for failing to slow under the yellow flags, but there was no further investigation there. Literally every single driver on the grid struggling with their tires and tire temps, as well as grip, obviously, newly surfaced track. Ollie Behrman was noted for impeding Lance, and I believe this is a Beth note with Norris first, Isaac second, Yuki third, Slay. Or was that a me note?
They're your notes.
I can. Yeah, these are your notes.
Oh my god, yeah.
I mean, you're not incorrect.
They're not wrong.
I have an actually anger point again. Not at Will Joseph this time.
Is it an Andrea Stella?
Haas pit wall.
Oh, it's a Haas.
Haas pit wall.
Ooh.
What?
Oh, she's frozen.
We've lost her. Let
We've
it
lost her.
go.
Look at.
Let it go. Actually, that's the thumbnail.
Oh.
That's the thumbnail. That's
She'll
going
be back.
Oh
yeah. Actually, she'll be back,
snow
right?
glows white on the mountain tonight, not a footprint to be seen. A kingdom of isolation, and it looks like I'm the queen. The wind. Oh, she left. She was sick of me.
She's gone.
She's back.
Welcome back.
Haas pit wall. When I catch you, when I catch you. Next time, maybe you learn how to read the times so that you send Ollie out with enough time to get a lap in. Please and thank you. Otherwise, I'll see you at Silverstone.
Oh, that's a
Oh.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Anyway,
Anyways,
moving on, we then went on to Q2, which had this really confused me because once again I've never heard this phrase, but I just have written little scare for Kimmy with his magic, which is breaking. I've since learned. But
yeah,
at first,
they've
I was
laughed
like,
Mercedes.
is bro trying to bippity boppity boo his way to the finish line? What is happening?
I did
think
think
it's
he
an
was
older
gonna.
term, right?
What?
I think they use that like an older. I don't know when they stopped using it, but like on
I
F1
had
TV,
never
they were
heard it.
saying that they were saying it's a term that like they hadn't heard it for a while.
Yeah. I was like, what is that? But we
What
Googled it.
do you
And I
mean by
worked it out.
that?
And then I also just have a little sub note. Shout out to Isaac Hajar doing well in Q2, coming in P4. Then Q3, we had Kimmy's lap time deleted. Isaac with an unsafe release. And then I just have Oscar Piastri with the hairpin of a lifetime, which then follows up with Q Lucy sobbing. Reason being, I'll go from 20th to 1st. Our lineup of the grid for the race was Lawson, Bortoletto, Doohan, Behrman, Gasly, Sainz, Stroll, Alonso, Hulkenberg, Ocon, Alex, Yuki, Kimi, Isaac, Charles, Lewis, Max, Lando, George, Oscar Piastri!
It's about damn time, Mr. Piastri.
I cried.
In a minute, I'm gonna need to send a man or woman.
You know what? I'm glad you did it. There was a point, you know, when Lando was on his last lap, like his last speedy lap, until he made that mistake, I was like, oh my God, is he gonna get Oscar? Is he gonna get Oscar? Is he gonna get Oscar? I was like, please just let him have this one. Let him have this one, please. And then he made a mistake, and I was like, okay, Lando, for once you can make a mistake.
But Oscar Piastri on pole! Woo!
I thought George was gonna snag it last second when he came through.
I got spooked. I can't what? George is the dark horse this season.
He's been killing it.
George is the dark horse this season. Do not, and
I don't want to say I told you so, but
do not count George Russell out. He may not have been first or second yet, but he is goddamn consistent.
He is, and you know what? I was just about to say that consistency is key.
Guys, I have another thing for you that's not here.
What?
I have another thing that I actually learned about 15 minutes ago before we started.
Okay, fact.
I saw it on TikTok. Apparently, Carlos Sainz is running an old repaired Williams chassis, and that's why he's kind of mid at the minute. Apparently, Alex Albon has the new chassis for this season.
I think I've seen this film before.
Is this source trust me, bro, or is this general source?
I didn't have enough time to fully read everything because I was trying to go collect my Dominoes and not get shouted at by you. Not Dominoes. I don't know Dominoes, Papa John's, whatever. But I saw it on TikTok. Well, I saw on Twitter earlier. Loads of people
like
going,
it, so you can go
is
back
this
and read
true
it.
about Williams? What's going on with Williams? Is the chassis thing real? And I was like, why is no one giving me any context? And then I went on TikTok, and then someone's posted on TikTok saying about that Carlos has a damaged, repaired old chassis. So at the minute, probably actually it's Williams. It's probably
You never know.
He's getting the Logan Sargent treatment.
I
Okay, anyway. Although I
That's
was
my-
talking about this the other day, where I think Liam Lawson is currently getting the Alex Albon and the Pierre Gasly treatment. So
No, that second Red Bull, the second Red Bull seat, the
Cursed.
second Williams seat, cursed.
Oscar Piastri posted on Twitter.
Why is Oscar alive? Wait,
Oh,
whoa.
Whoa.
You take that back,
Whoa,
Beth.
what did you just
Rephrase.
Why is Oscar awake at this time? I don't actually know where in the world he is, but Oscar, go to bed.
20 seconds.
I would imagine they've gone to Japan.
No, I think
No.
Lando's JPEG was him in London.
Are we sure that's not old photos that he just did the new post?
Maybe, but a weekend to remember. Oh,
I
there's
would
a-
imagine though going from China back to the UK to then go back to Japan.
That
yeah,
would
but they
be
got 2 weeks off, so
crazy.
they'll go back to the factory.
Their sleep schedule.
Oh, that's
must be
true.
So they
Absolutely.
go on the sim.
Their sleep schedule, I'm
They'll
scared.
fix Lando's car because
Well, there
clearly
you go. If
Oh,
Oscar's
that's
in the UK, then that will be why he's awake, because it's only 8 p.m.
Smiley
Yeah.
Oscar.
Get him.
A weekend to remember, though. How cute.
It's him and Lando. Oh, look at that.
Love that.
Love.
Not
My
him like
boys.
blinding Lando though. That was so funny.
Anyway, let's move on to our race notes. So these are very short and sweet because Beth wrote them.
Oh yeah.
Beth doesn't enjoy taking notes.
No, normally I do, but I don't know why I don't have any this week. Literally last week I had loads. And it wasn't
Yeah.
even my week to
And
do
it
it.
was
Yeah, it wasn't. Last week was my week to podcast plan, and Beth was like, "Here's all the notes," and I was like,
bestie.
"Girl, it's not your week." And now that it is
No.
her week, I have
You have all the notes.
4, 5, 6 bullet points for this entire race.
Do you know what though? The second one isn't even true. Because it wasn't Max that he hit. It
No,
was
it wasn't. It wasn't. It was Lewis.
Actually,
Is that
I
what
did
you wanted
I did
to
think
happen?
that he hit Max first, so that's probably
No,
why
so
it
did
said
I.
Max.
So did I. It's okay. But we had a good start for Mr. Lando Norris, going straight up past George Russell.
I thought he was going to take Oscar at one point. I was...
Oh, they give me anxiety, those two.
Bring on the Papaya Boys. We then had not Max and Charles, Lewis and Charles having contact, which I did want to ask. Does that count as teammate drama? Can I highlight that off on my?
I didn't highlight it on mine.
Okay.
I don't know if I have.
Because it wasn't
mine.
like
there was no penalty or anything applied for it, but
Nah, he
it
still kept
did
racing.
result in Charles Leclerc having his
no end plate.
his end plate of his front wing was gone. And his
he
Lando
was doing-
called it a flexi wing.
Do you know what
He's
was
doing pretty well though.
Do you know what's so funny? It was Lewis. That's exactly how I laughed when I heard this radio message of Lewis Hamilton coming on the radio going, I just got hit. It's just like Charles got into the side.
Charles was on one this week.
Bro, Charles is on one every week.
I
He's
was
got
actually
Ferrari
very
depression.
surprised that they did not replace the front wing, but they didn't.
I thought he was gonna go and get a new
He
one, but
was,
then I'm like,
yeah.
oh, thank you.
Wasn't he doing he was doing pretty good lap times, I think, even with the damage.
Well,
they
it
say.
didn't matter.
Lol, anyways.
Ciao. Anyway, so we also had Gabrielle in the Gravel. He had a little spin. He had a little wee.
Sauber. Message to Sauber. It's gonna become a weekly thing. Sauber last week in Australia, it was wet. And okay, Gabrielle, he did not have a good race. He did not finish it. You got points. Oh my God, literally was so shocked. Why is the tractor come back? Because on lap one, right, you had good qualifying position, good qualifying. I thought maybe you're gonna get a few points. Why, after lap one, no accidents, nothing. Okay, Gabriel spun. He gets a little bit of leeway. Hulkenberg, no, you didn't get away with this. How were you P19 and P20 after lap one?
That was crazy. I was like, what happened to Nico? What happened?
I just looked and I was like, How have they gone this bad? They were good last week.
I don't.
Because it's the rain. The rain makes all the cars equal.
Not the Haas, because the Haas was so bad last week.
But this week they killed it.
Oh my God, I was so happy this week, guys. I'm so happy this week.
Ugh.
I have another fact in a minute, I can tell you.
We also had Fernando Alonso, his brake was on fire, which, by the way, I saw this on social media, and I think I sent it to both of you. I don't actually know if I did. But it was it like Pierre came over the radio and Max or someone?
Yeah.
Two people came over the radio and was like, Alonso's brakes are on fire, like there's smoke.
Pierre.
And then Max said about Charles's wing. Charles has no.
Yes, so Max said
Pierre's,
about Charles's wing, and Pierre said about Alonso's brakes being on fire. And I saw someone had like tweeted this with like the two radio messages side by side and was like two biggest tattletales in Formula One. And I was like, how is this tattletaling?
That's a safety thing, if anything. That's not tattletaling.
I feel like Pierre's just being like, hey, if y'all didn't know, his car's on fire. And Max is out here like, hey, if y'all didn't know, Charles's front wing is broken. At no point were they like, this is dangerous, I want this reported. Like, at no point were they doing that. It was like a little, hey, just letting y'all know this is going on.
Yeah, it's. I
but
think
all the comments were agreeing.
No,
all the comments were like, literally, they can't do anything without whinging on the radio. And I was like, bro, if the car in front of me was on fire, I'd be like, yo, hello.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they have to, like, if they see something that's like, because they have to tell them, because then they like report it down the pit lane. It's like,
bro, I friggin' today driving home from university, I was actually mad at myself. I was driving home from uni today, and I saw like a woman had like closed her car door, but her scarf didn't make it, and it was trailing along the road, and it was a beautiful scarf. It was a really nice scarf. So I was behind her and I started flashing my lights at her, and she was looking at me like really confused. And then we were approaching red traffic lights, and I swerved up next to her and I rolled my window down. And I was like, hello, hello. And then she rolled her window down, and I was like, your scarf is stuck in your door and it's getting torn up under your tire. And she was like, oh my God, thank you so much. And I was like, I just saved the scarf. Am I tattling? Am I tattling?
Yes, you little snake.
Yeah, tattletale over here.
Sorry, guys. I felt bad, though. It was a beautiful scarf. It was an Orla Keeley scarf. Or Kylie, whatever it's called. Do you know,
I don't know what that is, but that sounds fancy.
They're like these big leaf patterns that she does.
Oh, that's pretty.
But she's a bougie brand. And then I was like, no, your scarf!
Save the scarf!
But apparently I'm a massive snitch because I did that. So, sorry.
Yeah. God forbid you help people nowadays.
Also, possibly the biggest confusion, the biggest what the moment. What the hell happened to Yuki's front wing?
It disintegrated.
Oh man. I think they said something was on the track and he went over it, but I couldn't see anything.
Straight. They showed a replay. He was on a straight, and the front wing just went.
I saw someone say he might have gone over a curb and it might have like loosened it, and as he's gone down the straight, and obviously the force on
like
it.
the medic.
Yeah.
But I was so confused because I was like, oh, Yuki. I thought it was Isaac at first, because Isaac and Jack had their little kerfuffle, and I was like, oh my God, Isaac's front wing is broken, and then they were like, Yuki Tsunoda front wing, and I was like, sorry.
No, even Yuki, whenever they were like box for like a new front wing, he was like, what? Why is my front wing broken?
Don't worry, we don't know either, Yuki.
And they were like, you don't know, but you need a new one.
Even the commentators were like, we don't know what's happening.
No one knew what happened until we got the replay, and we were all like, still don't know what happened. We also had Jack Doohan again versus lockups. Man went for a move, went in a little too hard, and just went across the track.
Jack, what are you doing?
Jack, Jack, here's my words to you. You're in a very stressful situation. You got a lot of pressure on your shoulders. You know, your dad is a well-known name in the motorsport industry. Your dad is very famous. That's a lot to live up to. That's a lot of pressure. Not to mention, you've also got Franco Colapinto like as a devil on your mother shoulder, and he's like, "I'm here for your seat." Don't listen to him. Look at your little angel. Look at the little angel of Flavio on your shoulder, being like, "I own you every millimeter." Like, oh no, this is going badly. And then you're gonna throw Flavio off your shoulder, and you're gonna pick up Max Verstappen, who's become the grid dad, and he's gonna be like, "You're doing great, Pookie. Just keep going. Just keep breathing and breathing and breathing. Just keep breathing, breathing and breathing and breathing." And that's who you're gonna listen to, because you're doing great. Well, you're doing mid. You're doing mid, but
he's doing his best.
That's okay. You're also a rookie, so you're expected to do mid.
He's still beating a certain someone.
Exactly. So don't you listen to them haters, Jack. You're doing great.
Because
you are doing great.
You're doing great. Okay, you're a rookie. Now is your time to make mistakes, and that's
exactly.
You make those mistakes and you learn from them, King. Anyway, then we got the one moment that gave me an absolute heart attack.
I'll recreate it for you.
Recreate it. I had my sound queued up and everything.
Right, I was gonna play my favorite human in the whole world, Will Joseph.
Right, well then I'll do this. Go.
Lando, the brakes are critical.
Keep going.
I don't have the rest of it. Lando, don't break the car. You can't brake, right? So if you go into a corner, just hope and pray that you don't run off the road, run off another car, run into Oscar. I don't know. But you know what? It's better to finish second than not at all.
Yep. Not a direct quote in the slightest.
No, that was the end of it was a direct quote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the rest of that.
Second than not at all.
Let's describe the radio messages from just Lando and Will this race.
Ding, ding.
It was every 5 seconds. I was like, Will.
Every time I looked at my screen, I just see the Lando.
I never want to hear Will Joseph pop up.
Whoa!
Wait, part 2, message to Will Joseph.
Beth, you're in the timeout. Go into your bathroom.
Part 2, message to Will Joseph.
Timeout.
No. Think about what you've done.
Out.
Let me finish my message.
No, go to your bathroom before I kick you from the call. You're in a timeout.
I hope you can see. Oh, no, you can see. Oh, look how dirty my room is.
You've done this to yourself.
She needs to learn. She needs to learn that open negativity is not welcome here. Will Joseph did a brilliant job this weekend, whether you like him or not.
He did his best, okay?
Back in the bathroom!
Will Joseph?
Back in the bathroom!
Will Joseph did not do an excellent job this weekend?
Bathroom.
Beth looks so tiny.
Go. 5.
Beth is 1 apple tall.
4. Thank you. Miss Girl's out here as though she's got a degree in engineering. Anyway, Will Joseph, you are not hated here. She's being punished for her crimes. She's a child. She's having a temper tantrum right now. She will come back and apologize in a moment. Trust. But yeah, Lando's brakes stopped working, and turns out the team actually knew about it before Lando did, and they didn't tell him as to not freak him out. Lando came on, he was like, yeah, my brakes are going long, and I was like, I have no idea. So I jumped over to Max Futrell's live stream to be like, what the hell does brakes going long mean? And then he informed me that it's actually quite normal for them to go like a little bit long, but they were going like really long, and
a little bit too long. And
then Will Joseph came over with the brake situation is critical, which then meant for pretty much the last lap of the race, Lando couldn't brake. So it was his rear brakes that stopped working. He still had front brakes. But for the last lap of the race, he pretty much had no brakes, and he just had to like lift going into all the corners. And, you know, he had a comfortable gap to George, which was not so comfortable by the final couple of turns.
I was scared.
Another half a lap and George would have got him. Not even a full lap. I've seen people saying like another lap and George would have got him. By the end of that straight, George would have got him.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Beth, are you ready to apologize yet?
I have one more point. No, not about the brakes. Not about the brakes. I will be quiet about the brakes.
If it's about Will Joseph, it better be nice.
Watch your words.
Last week, I gave a really nice message to the McLaren pit wall. I said, you did a good job. You used team orders when team orders were needed. Okay, so when they're passing, I defended you.
This is true.
This week, I fear that I cannot. Because the whole race to Lando, I will not say anyone's name, I will not name any individuals. The whole race was later, maybe, if, when they were asking, Lando was asking if he could race. They're like, maybe at the end. Yeah, we crossed the finish line. How are you going to race if you're across the finish line?
We're getting a little intense. We're going to turn that dial down a little bit there.
Sorry, I was very upset with them this week.
That's okay.
I thought we sorted it out. And I praised them last week. I praised them when it was right. And they got it right last week. However, in my honest opinion, I do not feel that we got it right this week. It felt very much as though Oscar's winning this race. Maybe you can race him in a bit. I will shut my mouth. The end.
It's okay. We learned how to control our emotions. This is a good thing.
Well, Joseph, when I catch you.
Beth. Restrain.
I just threaten her with her Silverstone ticket. Every time she acts out, I'm like, that's Friday gone.
I'll buy a flag with Will Joseph's face on. I'll take it to Silverstone as an apology.
No, you're bringing John on a flag.
I'll put John on one side and Will on the other.
Have you got the John flag?
No, it's somewhere at an airport. It's in England. They told me it's in England, but
So hopefully by next week we'll be able to
by
see
next week, it says it should be here by the 30th.
For those who don't know, we're talking about John Malvern, who is Lando's trainer. And Beth loves him so much. As do I. I think he's hilarious.
That's her Pookie.
But Beth may or may not have gotten a flag printed with John's face on it for Silverstone.
I think it's perfect.
We're gonna
How big this flag is going to be.
We're gonna like fly it outside our tent.
Oh yeah, my dad was looking at tents earlier. He'll send me.
Nice. Can't wait. Anyway, that's another point to make. As of day of recording, it is officially 100 days until Silverstone.
Which means it's actually like 98 days until you fly to England. So I don't know if they're taking Silverstone from the Friday or the Thursday.
Alexa, how many days is it until July 2nd?
Wednesday, the 2nd of July 2025 is in 100 days.
Oh, it's from the Wednesday?
I'm flying on the Wednesday.
No, I didn't know if when they said it was 100 days till Silverstone, I didn't know if they'd taken it from the Friday or not.
No, from the
They're
Wednesday.
taking it for 100 days until we get to go camp in a lovely field. Woo!
You guys are gonna have so much fun.
And eat pot noodles for a whole week.
You know what?
And consume a lot of non-alcoholic beverages.
Well, I don't drink, so I will only be consuming.
I will maybe not.
I'm drinking
It'll depend.
ginger ale right now.
I'll just cry to Lucy about Logan Sargent in real life this time.
If you get drunk enough for me,
Good luck, soldier.
Beth's drunk videos in person, you're
Ooh.
sleeping on the grass.
The
I'm buying a padlock for the tent, and I'm gonna padlock it, and I'm gonna lock you outside.
I promise I will not get that drunk.
Thank you, because there was
But it would be
the
funny
one
though. It would
drunk
be
Beth
funny.
video that I got where it was just like, and Logan didn't even do anything wrong. Sure, he crashed the car a couple times, but like, don't we all?
I think the first videos Beth ever sent us of her drunk are some of my favorite things I think I've ever watched.
It was me having to decode them for Brooke because
Mhm.
I speak fluent drunk gibberish because I am always the sober friend because I don't like drinking. It's not a moral thing or anything. It's not like drinking is a sin or anything
You
like
just
that.
don't like
I
it.
just
Enjoy it.
I'm an anxious girly and drinking makes me more anxious. So I prefer to stay sober. I also have raging ADHD, so I will always match the energy in the room. So, but no, I'm always the one where it's like I get a random text at 3 a.m. of "Have never picked me up," and I'm like, "Yep, I'll be there in 20 minutes."
Don't lie. The best one was me thinking I was texting Lando. Where I just said, "Oh my God, Lando, they're playing your song. I love you." And you replied, and I just put, Lando.
You're not
Yeah.
Lando.
There's been some unhinged drunk Beth moments, but they normally
Mhm.
result in tears.
They do.
There was one where it was like, "An Oscar just deserves a chance." She speaks her mind. She speaks her mind. Anyway, yes, with our race, not only was Oscar Piastri, speaking of Oscar, perfect leeway from drunk Beth, not only was he our pole sitter for the first time in Formula One, but he also won the race.
That's my boy.
My son. That's my.
This
I
is
also
quite
did. I don't
small.
know if you guys saw it, but it came up on my For You page, and it was like visiting a literal gravesite, and it was Oscar Piastri's tire tracks in Albert Park.
Oh yeah. Lol.
Oh,
I cried.
oh my
I
gosh.
cried at a TikTok of grass. But yes, so we had Oscar on the top step, Lando somehow with no braking ability for like the last lap, came in second, with George Russell very close behind Lando in third.
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 Bro, I could literally.
But can I just say,
Bro, we've got a podium here.
well, Ollie Bear on the podium, hon. Oh no, that's Oscar's hat. It looks like your Ollie hat. Oh, you got the white one. I have the black Ollie hat. This is what I was saying.
Bro, I have a whole collection.
I have a laptop. It looks like a black Ollie cap from a distance. Hold on. Go back. Go back the way you were sitting. Brooke, do these not look similar?
Oh, we Logan Sargent.
I can't put it on very well.
Do these not look similar?
I'm looking from back here. A little bit, yeah. But the only reason why I can tell that it's not Ollie's is because the bear on the Ollie hat, it's bright enough to where you can tell that it's like the bear.
We all
I'm
have
gonna
a
try to
collection
put these
of
back.
hats.
But
I've got the Ollie hat, which is signed. I've got the Lando hat.
Oh, hat haul.
I've got the Haas hat, which they still never sent me a replacement for, so I still have the goddamn snapback that I never ordered.
Because Logan Sargent.
So I just... Who shoots snapbacks? Look at that! That is the ugliest shaped thing I have ever seen in my goddamn life.
I think you look great.
Like one.
I think you don't look great. I'm gonna be so real. I hate the hat.
It's awful. It's so bad. I look like gangster Donald Duck.
Gangs with McLaren.
Look backwards. See, but then backwards, I look like a roadman or bald.
You look bald.
You look bald.
Should I just wear it?
I need to try put these back.
Swizzle.
Oh my God, get excited. Your Royal Mail package is arriving soon. John's on his way.
John's on his way.
Yay!
I need a John hat. Oh my God, do you think I could get like custom John hat?
Probably.
Absolutely, yeah.
I have McLaren
They were
construction.
my Ollie hat. I still can't believe Ollie signed a black cap with a black marker. That
I
is
have George
ridiculous.
Russell. I have Oscar. I have Ollie with the Ollie hat. I have Lando.
To both of which are signed, by the way. Your Lando and hat are both signed.
And then I have nicknamed my graveyard of hat because at home I've got both Daniel Ricciardo and Logan Sargent.
Oh.
And
That's
then
awful.
I've got Ferrari, and then I've got Lando Silverstone one from.
Well, anyway, enough.
Bro, I'm such a for hats.
Enough of the hat battle.
Jesus.
No, Lando!
Let her know.
Lando, no.
So
One
you
thing
fell
I
off the job.
want to point out over the race weekend, because I saw a lot of people confused about it, a lot of the sponsors had disappeared off people's cars. The one that I noticed, Beth, you're going to go back in the bathroom in a minute. One of the things I noticed the most was the OKX on the center of Lando's helmet had like a little black piece of tape on it. This is because cryptocurrency is banned in China. So any sponsor that had anything to do with cryptocurrency had to be covered.
Fact.
So there's a little fun.
I remember looking at Lando's helmet. I'm like, this doesn't look right. Like, what's
Something's
wrong with
wrong.
it? Something's missing.
Do you know what I noticed the
yeah.
most? The Red Bull rear wing said Red Bull and not whatever crypto sponsor they have.
Mhm.
They cover it well that like at a glance you wouldn't notice it, but like
Yeah.
If you know, you know.
if you know, you know.
Yeah.
And then my personal favorite moment of the weekend, multi-21 Seb.
Oh, I thought you were going
No, we're not talking about that yet.
I thought that was your favorite part.
No, God,
It
no.
was
We got to the cool down room, and Lando and Oscar were having a little giggle about multi-21 Seb. And I can just picture Mark Webber shaking in a corner somewhere.
That's why he wasn't there.
It made me giggle. It made me giggle with the throw the hat multi-21 Seb. Also, the boys, like George included, ensuring that there was no swear words. We had, oh goodness. We had, oh my day.
Oh God. Oh golly.
We had, oh golly. That was very funny.
And Oscar just sat there like this the whole time, pulling faces.
We love Oscar for his pulling faces. And yeah, the weekend then came to a close with
did it?
Gut-wrenching news that
No, I laughed.
Beth, you're gonna get cancelled so hard. Keeping that in. Charles Leclerc, disqualification. Pierre Gasly, disqualification. Lewis Hamilton, disqualification.
Do you know, if I got £1 for every time a Williams driver scored their first points because Charles and Lewis got disqualified, you know what's funny? I'd have £2.
I have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
It is weird that it happened. No, that's actually so funny.
That is so funny. How long ago?
Hopefully, it doesn't become Logan Sargent because then I probably would cry again.
How long after the race did they release that? 'Cause I promptly went to bed after the race ended.
A few hours because it was like 11 o'clock here. It came out because I was shopping.
They said it was during, I believe, whenever I first heard it, was during Ted's notebook. Ted said Pierre Gasly had been summoned to the shirts.
Ooh, okay.
But at that point, it was only Pierre Gasly had been summoned. And Ted's notebook typically happens like an hour after the race.
Yeah, I was going to say it was like after the race.
So once they got like the podium celebrations, then they do all their driver interviews, and then it's Ted's notebook. So normally after the podium, Ted's notebook's normally about an hour after.
Okay. So I remember watching a video that Noah did. She goes, Noah was up until like 7 a.m. And that's when she had heard the news.
Yeah.
So that would have been the 11 for you guys.
Yeah, it was like 11 because I was in the shop and I was like walking around trying to get signal because I was refreshing the page, being like, have they been disqualified? Have they not been disqualified? I mean, I knew it was going to happen, but
Well, I knew Charles and Pierre were getting disqualified because they were underweight, and that's like a solid disqualification. But Lewis was disqualified for less than that width.
But
Yeah.
rules the rules at the end of the
The
day.
rules are the rules. I did have there was a couple of people that I spoke about where they said it was really unfair and it was really harsh. And I was like, yeah, but then the question is, where do they draw the line?
Do you know what though?
If they go like, oh, but like it was so little, we'll let Lewis away with it. Like, no, like where do you draw the line? The rules are the rules. You all stick to
If
them.
they do it with Lewis, they're gonna have to do it like
Yeah.
from now on. If they would have done that.
I think it was a similar situation to when they both got disqualified for Lewis. Well, when they both got disqualified in Kota that one time because of the wear. Him and Charles got disqualified for the wear of their thing.
Yeah,
it's happened before. It'll happen again.
It's not the end of the world.
The game is the game.
Back.
Yeah, Mr. Rules.
Yes, that was our race week wrap up, and we've got no podium predictions this week.
I have 2 points.
Why don't you put them in the notes?
Because I just remembered them now.
It was your notes this week.
No, these are facts.
Points. They should be in the notes.
No, these are facts. The other one isn't actually a point. The first one's a point. This is a fact. This is a fun fact. Did you know? I'm pretty sure it's true. Esteban Ocon is the leading Ferrari-powered car in the championships. Isn't that madness, bro? They have a whole
Crazy.
Ferrari there, and it's Esteban Ocon in a Haas is the leading Ferrari at the minute.
Slay.
Second, I was going to tell you about how our podium predictions are going.
Lucy killed it.
No, I did
No,
not.
she didn't.
I thought she
Brooke,
said it was the same.
You killed it.
You killed it this week.
I don't know why I thought Lucy said Oscar, Lando, George.
No,
No,
I said
Lando, Max,
Max,
Oscar.
Brooke,
you said Max, Lando, George.
I did, yeah.
So Lucy added points system.
Yeah, I want to be more fair.
If you got it right on the podium, you got 2 points. If you got like the people, you got 2 points. If you got it in the right place, you got 5 points.
Slay.
Okay, so in Australia, you two both got 4 points because you both said
Lando.
Oscar. No,
Lando and Max.
George.
You both got 2 points. I worked it out, I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure I said Oscar.
I can't remember who I said.
I think
Anyway.
Oscar, Lando, Max.
Yeah, I think you said Oscar.
Oh, I said Oscar, Lando, Carlos.
Oh, maybe I got this. Maybe I added it wrong. Maybe Brooke only got 2 points.
You gotta go rewatch it then.
Yeah. Anyway, last week, China. We'll just do China. Lucy, you got 4 points because you had Lando and Oscar.
Just not in the right order.
Brooke, you got 10 points because you had Lando and George in the correct positions. And I had 9 points because I got George in the right position, but Lando and Oscar the wrong way around. Fact.
Slay.
Anyway, that's my segment done for today. On to Lucy.
Great. It's time for meme of the week, so it's actually on to all of us.
Please can I go first? Because I actually love mine this week. Mine is actually I love mine this week. Ciao.
Yes.
I was trying to find something. I wanted to do something with Ollie and Chow.
Go, Brooke.
I just wanted to know, this is the man who's ahead of 2 Ferraris.
Yep.
Did they give him Alonso's car this year or something?
I don't know, he's cooking.
Speaking of the 2 Ferraris.
Look
Brooke,
at him.
Brooks, you just remind me of something that I've seen earlier. Give me like 1 minute.
Well, anyway.
Yeah.
Are we keeping that in, or do you want me to?
No, you can keep that because that's quite funny.
That's funny.
Okay, so we're gonna wrap that up there. I hope you guys like my new little light that's behind me. I didn't even mention this. My dad bought me this while he was on holiday. And he came back and he said, I got you a present. And it says on air. You can't really see it because it's that
I
bright.
can see it.
You can see on.
Alexa,
And then you can assume it's air.
is that better?
A little.
It's about the same, to be honest.
We're going on a trip. My shelf.
It's very cute, though.
It says on air.
Oh, cute.
Oh, it's so cute.
There we are.
Lovely.
Simply lovely, huh?
We've killed her. You've killed her.
Every time a McLaren wins, I'm posting that.
See you next week. Bye.
We don't play. Hope you're ready for the next episode. Hold up.